So Fred, we covered Erasure as a service and Erasure in a holistic perspective from a general term. I'm hoping you can address more specifically where we're looking at from a device as a service, if you will. Could you expand a little bit where the benefits would be to a service provider in that aspect?
Yes, so where we have seen the most success, where partners have been able to build easy, identifiable, good revenue streams, is if, for example, if you're doing already desktop as a service, this adds on as a natural additional component that you can also do the end of life and the decommissioning of the desktop. And you should also consider during the lifetime of a desktop, sometimes something happens to that desktop. It needs to go on a little tour to a service center. Do you really want your data to go with the laptop if it's sent to service? And if I leave the organization, someone comes in and should have my laptop. What should happen in between there? So we have a number of different established use cases that can easily be positioned within a service offering that it connects really well with desktop as a service as an existing revenue stream.
And what about in an IT policy perspective? Let's say there's policies in line that you only can retain data for a certain amount of time.
So data retention in itself is a hot topic. So it's more and more pressure on being able to manage your data, which includes establishing different data classifications. You need to have the retention policies. We've seen end customers with data retention documents of hundreds of pages where they define everything that has to be done. So what's the natural end of a retention? Well, it is data end of life, because you don't just want to leave the data somewhere in digital storage at the end of a retention policy, because that will increase your risk, increase your footprint. So you want to make sure it's gone and that you can prove that it's gone. So that is also a very good opportunity to incorporate erasure one way or another as a service.
We hear a lot of service providers struggling with managing their customers' IT policy and what they can do to help manage that data behind it. So that's a great example right there of how they can support that. And it gives them additional revenue streams, if you will. Any other use cases you can think from a front-end perspective that will really help service providers in increasing their footprint in that customer?
Yes, indeed. So, for example, we see a lot of service providers helping the end customers with not only transitioning from one desktop platform to another when they have a tech refresh. Also, there's needs around the smartphones. If the company owns the smartphones and you have to replace them or service them, there's definitely an opportunity to build that service function within the enterprise, so that you are able to securely erase also smartphones, including tablets, within IT security functions that could be managed by a service provider, for example.
That is fantastic. Well, Frederick, thank you very much. I think you've really highlighted the many various ways where Blancco can apply and therefore drive a lot more revenue for our service providers.
Very good.
Appreciate it.